Okay, welcome to May 2024 block of the month. And guess what? We're going to start out making a bunch of half square triangles. So for this one, we've got the green star paired with a white, and I've drawn the white line diagonally, not a white line, I've drawn a black line on white fabric diagonally from corner to corner, and I'm going to stitch on each side of that line. So then one of these will make two half square triangles. Okay, now we can trim those and iron them. Now we're going to go ahead and cut on that drawn line, which is essentially cutting these two in half and giving them a 1/4 inch seam. But it's in the seam allowance, so if it's not quite a 1/4 inch, it doesn't really matter. It's just part of the unit. So we care about the top part, not so much the seam allowance at this point. So okay, let's press those. And I'm going to press to the green on all of these. And I'm just going to set my seam. I like to just roll it back, give it a good finger press. I want to make sure that the seam is fully opened. I don't have any little like pleated areas in there. And these units are all oversized, so we will trim them down. And I'm using the block lock ruler to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this pile, and then I'll meet you at the sewing machine. Now we're back at the machine, and I have all my half square triangles trimmed. So I am going to lay out the portion of the block. We're doing a quadrant, and so we're going to have 4 of these in the block. It's actually a traditional bear paw block, which I love the look with all these half square triangles, but it's a lot of half square triangles. So, okay, and we want to make sure we have them oriented correctly. So the greens are like going inward. And so then I'm just going to stack up a bunch of these oriented like they're supposed to be. And then we'll go ahead and sew them together. All right, so I'm going to sew this group of half square triangles together, and then this group with this white square also. So we're going to kind of build it in sections. I have these pressed, and I just went ahead and pressed to one side. I thought about pressing them open, but when I join them to the rest of the block, it's going against a flat solid piece here. There's no seams that it's intersecting on either side. And then when we put it into the block, even here, it's just touching a solid piece. So if I was trying to match seams up, then I would probably press open because you have a lot of bulk that way, and that kind of eliminates it. But here they seem to be fine just going to one side, so I'm just leaving them like that. And now I'm going to join these two sections together and then add this white square on this section. Oops, that one's wrong. Let's see. Yes, let's make sure we have everything turned correctly. And on these, I'm just going to finger press it towards the larger pink square. Okay, and now we can join these. Okay, and then by pressing that seam towards the white square, when we sew them together, then these seams will nest where they meet up. There, those look good. I'm gonna press those and then we'll put our block together. Now, when I pressed them that time, I did go ahead and press that seam open right there. I tried to do it to one side, but it was really thick because there's lots of seams where those half square triangles meet up. So it just laid a little bit better to press that part of it open. So now I'm going to lay out my block according to the pattern so that we have everything oriented in the correct spot. All right. Okay, and then we're just going to put it together like a 9 patch. We'll sew this row together, this row, and then join those. Okay, and on these, I'm going to finger press to the white, and then that way I know my seams will nest. I'll press that and then see you back here. Here is my completed block, and on that one, those final seams I also pressed towards the white rectangular piece here just because it wanted to go that way and it was much flatter. So there is our first block completed. Now we're ready to make the second block of May 2024, and you guessed it, we're going to do some half square triangles to start off. So same process, I've drawn the diagonal line from corner to corner, and I'm going to stitch on each side of that line. Another little sub-unit type process that I'm going to do at this time also is to do a little, we're going to have a corner flip on these. And we'll start with the green, and I've drawn the diagonal line corner to corner on 8 pieces. And for this, we are going to put it in the corner of one side and then a green on the other side as well. I'm just going to do one at a time. And for this, we're stitching right on that line. Okay, and now I'm gonna go and put the second green one on in the opposite corner of the square. And then my line should be going the same direction. And then we can stitch on that line also. Okay, and we do have one more, these will get flipped back, and then we have one more piece. The pink square will be added down here, but we definitely need to trim this and press it before we add this one so that everything is flat and we get our seams going exactly in the corners, that kind of thing. So let's go do that now. Okay, we're gonna cut apart our half square triangles right on that drawn line. Okay, and then we're also going to trim away this corner piece. So for this, I'm lining up my 1/4 inch line right there, and then I'll trim away that, and that we can just discard. And then when we press that, it's going to look like that. So okay, and on this one, I have to go fix that. I was in the mindset of half square triangles, and so I sewed a 1/4 inch away from it instead of being on that line. So all I have to do is now stitch on that line, trim that off, and then that one will be ready to go as well. I think that's the only one I did that on. Yep, okay, so I'm gonna press these. And on the half square triangles, I am going to press towards the green. So I'll just set these seams here. All right, and then these I'm also just gonna flip it and press towards the green also. Okay, so those look good. And then we need to trim the half square triangles down. And I'm going to use the block lock ruler and get it lined up right. There we go. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and get the rest of those trimmed up. Now I'm going to come back and finish the sew and flip triangles by adding the pink one. And so it's just going to cross over 2 of those squares, and then it will be cornered on 3 sides. Then that subunit will be done. So line this up in the corner and stitch right on that line. Then we can trim that 1/4 inch away and press that back. Now I'm going to assemble my little subunit here to make my quadrant, and we have 4 of these, and I'm laying it out so that I know that I have everything oriented correctly. So we're going to make sure that our half square triangles are turned, so then our shape, the green shape, then becomes like a parallelogram. So that's how we know we have it facing the right way. And these 4 are the same, so I'm just stacking them into like groups of 4. And then we have 4 rectangles and 4 squares. Okay, so now I can join these 2 together and these 2 together, and then we'll press them and add it onto this block. I'm going to finger press that towards the white square. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to just finger press that towards the white triangle. I guess it's a rectangle, the white rectangle. Okay, and then I'm going to sew these smaller top portions onto the block. I will give those a press with the iron because there's a lot more going on there, a lot more seams meet up, so we want to make sure those are pressed nicely. And now we can join these 2 together. Now we don't really have any seams that need to nest, but we might want to pay attention to this area here so that our points match up. So if you want to pin it, go ahead, that's totally up to you. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to give those a press now as well. Those are completed and pressed, so I'm going to set those there, and we have a little bit more like sub-constructing to do for our little like sashing center parts of the block. So I'm just going to sew a pink square onto a white rectangle. Before I finger press those, I'm going to look to see where it's going in the block to see which way I want to press it for the best results. So if I press it towards the pink and we put it, it's going to go next to this pink. I have pressed that towards the pink, so here I actually want to press it towards the white. And then those will nest up, they'll kind of butt up to each other so that not all the bulk is in just one spot there. So on all of these, I'm going to finger press towards the white. And then we can lay out our block and start assembling it like our 9 patch. Okay. So we're going to have a white center square, so I'll put that there first. And then I know that the pink is going to touch the white square, so I'll lay those on. And then now with my quadrants, the pink is just going to go towards the middle, and then that's going to kind of create like a circle there. It's cute. Okay, and then now we can just sew the row together, this row, and then join them, and then our block will be finished. Okay, so that I'm going to press towards this little sashing piece. Then on the center, I'm going to press towards the pink. And then this one towards the white. Okay. Okay, now our center area will nest. Okay, looks good. There's our finished block. I'm going to give that a press and then we'll take a look at it. Here is our completed block, and on that last bit there, I just pressed those to the white rectangular pieces. There's less seams and it laid much flatter. You could press it open if you wanted to. But there is our second block for May. Thanks for watching.